What's going on, fight fans? This is the Encyclopedia George Kennebrew here for MMA Mayhem TV. This interview is being brought to you by NorthAtlantaHRT.com. I am here at Bellator 149 in Houston, Texas, and look who I have standing next to me. It's the homeboy, Herschel Walker, live in living color, direct, and definitely in effect, Mr. Walker. First of all, what brings you here to Bellator tonight? And secondly, how did you enjoy the event altogether?
Well, what brought me here is Scott Coker. Scott has been a dear friend since I got into this MMA thing. You know, Scott helped me to get into this MMA. He really have taken me on his wing and showed me how to become a good fighter. And I respect Scott so much, so I became a little bit of an ambassador for Bellator. And at the same time, you know, I enjoyed tonight. It was a little bit different. You know, it's sad that the main event, what happened, but what was strange about it is Ken got hit, but he didn't say anything about it until a couple of punches later. So that's what I thought was really weird about it. And in the Kimbo and the Dada fight, as anyone that knows fighting may realize that when they were down on the mat, and I said, guys, Dada is holding them down, and what was wild is Kimbo was trying to pull himself up. So you had all that strength, and you knew, I said, they're going to wear themselves out. And I said, I think that's what really happened. They wore themselves out. But one thing about it is they were still out there slugging it. And, you know, people said, well, Dada didn't have the experience. And I said, guys, Dada was in the fight. At one time, I said, man, he hit Kimbo a couple of times, and I was shocked. Yeah. So he was still in the fight, but, you know, Kimbo he's a tough guy, and he came back. But a lot of these guys on the card, I thought that was some good fight there. I never thought Melvin Gillard was going to get knocked out.
Me neither.
I never thought that would happen.
Man. That was shocking.
So I was shocking to see that, and you know, to see Vessa. You know, I tell you what. He got hit in the groin, but that was an interesting fight because I thought he was not going to take that one, but he did. So the undercard was some good fights.
So let's talk about you a little bit. What have you been up to as far as your MMA training? Are you still training on a daily basis? And when could we possibly expect to see you inside the Bellator cage?
Well, I'm still training. I'm always training. That's something that I've always have done. I do it all my life. And, you know, martial arts has been something I've been doing all my life. And people, they think I just started this, 7 years ago. But even when I was at Georgia, I was training martial arts and been doing it. I absolutely love the sport. And I've told Scott that, you know, I said, guys, I'll fight anytime you want me to fight. You know, you just let me know. And what I do is I go out to AKA, I start training with some of the world's best out there, and they tell me that they're my sort of measuring stick. If they say, Herschel, you still got it, I would step in that cage and throw down again. And if they say, Herschel, it's over, you know, I say I won't fight, because one thing about it, I respect this sport so much, and I love this sport so much. It's a tough sport, and I've told people that this is a tough sport, and you got to respect it.
So in terms of, let's say, the techniques that you train at AKA, if you had to put your finger on it, what would be one of your favorite techniques out of the grappling and the striking, or between the grappling and the striking aspect?
Well, I'm a striker. You know, I've been in Taekwondo now for about almost 40 years, so I'm more of a stand-up striker. So that's what I learned. But having the opportunity to be there with Daniel Cormier and Kane and all those who's incredible wrestlers, they've now helped me to get my wrestling game down. And one of the things, and Josh and I always laugh about this, because when I first came in the gym, my very first time, I remember Josh putting me in an arm bar. And at that time, I said, that'll never happen to me again. And getting into the jiu-jitsu world, and that's one thing I think it's been very great for me, is I've now become a rounded fighter. But if I had to pick one thing that I'm going to go to, it's probably going to be my stand-up game.
Okay. And in terms of the King Mo Phil Davis fight coming up, it's going to be in San Jose. That's pretty much your second home. Yeah. You just say you train with AKA. I want to know, would you be attending that event? And if you could have your prediction right now on who you think could walk away with that one, would it be Mr. Wonderful Phil Davis, or would it be the brash King Mo?
Well, I will be out there because of Josh Thompson is a teammate, so I will be out there supporting Josh. And you know what's fun is I've trained with King Mo and Phil, and that's going to be a tough fight. because both of them are incredible wrestlers. I tell you what, that's one thing they're both at. And I tell you what, King Mo hits hard, and Phil got those long arms, those long legs, and Phil is a good submission guy. And so it's going to be an interesting fight. I'm looking forward to it. I think that is going to be a very interesting fight there. And I tell you, that's a very hard one to call.
Now, lastly, a little fun fact here. Now, I heard through the grapevine you can do, I think you said, if I could get it right, you do like 1,000, you can do like 1,000 push-ups, like in one time?
Oh, no. I do about 1,500 push-ups every day.
1,500 push-ups?
Yes, every day. I do about 3,500 sit-ups. I'm not a weightlifter. People think that I'm a weightlifter. I don't do any weights. So I do all the push-ups and sit-ups, and that sort of counterbalance my weight against anyone else that's doing all the heavy weights and stuff that I will measure up to them any time of the day.
So that is your training. That those sit-ups and everything you do, that is your training as far as getting into physical shape.
It is. It's sort of like body lifting. I do. I work out almost like a gymnast, from rope climb to pull-ups to different things like that. And you know, that's what I've been doing. That's what I was taught when I was young, and I've stayed with it so far.
Wow, this is an amazing individual, ladies and gentlemen, and a heck of an athlete, and an even kinder, genuine guy. It's Herschel Walker, a living legend. He's here at Bellator 149. Look out for him, because he could be coming to a Bellator cage near you. This interview has been brought to you by NorthAtlantaHRT.com. I'm the Encyclopedia. Page turn.